So he led the march from Selma to Montgomery alongside his wife, Coretta Scott King. The Civil Rights Movement. The Civil Rights Movement was not only about voting, it was about segregation and discrimination. For example, there were separate water fountains, bathrooms, and restaurants. Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks was also a civil rights activist, but she stood up for something different. She stood up for segregation on buses. Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela thought that just because people had different skin colors does not mean that they cannot get along. He got put in prison for 25 years for just believing what he believed. While his time in prison, he became president of South Africa for 5 years. What freedom means to me. Being able to do something without people saying you can't, following your dreams and doing whatever you want to do, being free. Ending. Thank you, classmates, for listening and paying attention. Any questions?
Oh, yeah. Do you want, do you need help setting that up?
No, I can just flip it around. That's okay. Just put it right here. This is my visual aid that I made, and so I did something about the Edmund Pettus Bridge, Martin Luther King Jr., the attack, Bloody Sunday, and Rosa Parks, Nelson Mandela, and Tom Lewis and Tom Bradley.
Can we talk about each of the pictures, please?
Yeah, can you
Yes.
read what you wrote?
Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks was born February 4th, 1913 in Tuskegee, Alabama. She died October 24th, 2005 at the age of 92. And she was known for her Montgomery bus boycott. The attack. This was a different attack than Bloody Sunday. This event took place in Birmingham, Alabama from May 2nd, 1963 to May 10th, 1963. Police in Birmingham were the attackers. They used very high-powered hoses, police dogs on the African Americans, men, women, and even children. The Edmund Pettus Bridge. The Edmund Pettus Bridge is located in Selma, Alabama, and was built in the year 1939 and was involved in the historic march from Selma, Alabama to Montgomery, Alabama. John Lewis. John Lewis is a politician and a civil rights activist and a civil rights leader who was born on February 21st, 1940 in Troy, Alabama. Tom Bradley. Tom Bradley was the first African-American mayor in Los Angeles. He was born on December 29th, 1917 in Calvert, Texas, and he died September 29th, 1998. Bloody Sunday. Bloody Sunday took place on March 7th, 1965 in Selma, Alabama. 600 marchers were involved, and the people who attacked them were state and local lawmen. They used clubs and tear gas. Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. was born January 15th in the year 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. He was a civil rights activist who died on April 4th, 1968 at the age of 39 because he was assassinated. Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was born on July 18th, 1918 in Malabo, South Africa, and he died on December 5th, 2013. Nelson Mandela was also a former president in South Africa. Interesting fact, Nelson Mandela was in prison just for wanting equal rights and for people to get along. He was also a lawyer. And then the NAACP, as you see here, means National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And the names that you see here, to me, represent civil rights activists and freedom, and people who stood up for freedom, and the hearts represent freedom to me, representing words.
Can you read those?
Yeah. Horrific, Selma, tragic, bad, upstander, glory, NAACP, justice, Common and John Legend, try your best, Alabama, equality.
And can you read some of the names
Yeah.
that are on there?
Amelia Boynton Robinson, Allison Felix, Bill Russell, Malcolm X, Perseverance, Cesar Chavez, Forgiveness, Resilience, Protest, Muhammad Ali, James Baldwin, Civil Rights Movement, Freedom, Passion, Civil Rights Activist, Jesse Owens, Hank Gathers.
Any questions or comments for Alexis?
So in 3rd grade, we did a unit in social studies about the civil rights movement, and I wanted to go deeper into that, not just doing segregation and slavery and stuff like that.
What was it like working with your family?
It was cool. My mom wanted me to film my family members, asking them what freedom meant to them, and it was cool working with my dad because he told me some facts and stuff. But yeah.
So was Bill also, was he the first African American basketball player?
Bill who? No.
Bill Russell. What
Yeah, so
cards did he have in
He wasn't the first African American basketball player, and he was a civil rights activist.
how do you know, like, what did he do, or what did
So he was an African American basketball player, and he proved people wrong because they were saying that he couldn't do that because he had a darker skin color. Because white Americans were paid more and were able to do this type of stuff without anyone saying that they can't. And Bill Russell proved people wrong because people saying that he couldn't do this, he couldn't do anything. But he did. He succeeded.
How long ago was he a basketball player? Do you know? Because I just don't know who he is.
he played for the Celtics?
A long time ago, or like recently?
Like
So he's in his 70s now, so it's been about,
He's in his 80s.
No,
he's gotta be 80, so he's probably 30 years ago he played. A little bit longer.
Mom can talk to me.
Did you have any other ideas in mind, like for topics?
yeah, I was gonna do sports and Gabby Douglas and Timon Biles and Allie Raisman and my cousin. And, yeah.
So what made you decide to do this as opposed to those other ideas?
Because I already had a little bit of background info on that, and I wanted to learn more about that subject, so I did. And my dad and mom already had some info, so that helped with that too. Yes.
So I noticed that you're at Cesar Chavez, and my brother in 2nd grade, he's doing this project and choosing your hero. So how did you choose all the names? Like,
So the names to me, they're not just African. They're people who stood up for equal rights and people who proved people wrong.
how long did this take?
Well, the names and everything else took me like a week or 2. And the whole thing took me like 3 months to get the poster board to start and to finish it. Rocco.
Out of all of these, which out of like one of these people or like time periods, which one do you think shows the most freedom?
The 1960s when Martin Luther King Jr. led the march from Selma, Alabama to Montgomery, Alabama.
Why?
Because he was marching for equal rights, and people said that people were giving him death threats, and he was assassinated when he was 39, and to me was a very young age. And so he was a civil rights activist, and yeah.
Who in your family helped you? Or like
My mom and dad.
but like,
How?
what did they do?
Oh, so my mom gave me some ideas, and my dad helped me with the facts.
Did anybody help you with the board? Or you did that all by yourself?
I did that by myself.
I'm just so impressed. Believe it or not, Mommy didn't really do that much. I came in next what I saw, and I was like, "Who helped you?" She was like, "I just been working on it." So I'm. Can I just say something? I've seen you guys since you were so little, and I am so impressed on your questions and everything. I'm like, I'm just a minute away from tears because I cannot believe how you guys are just growing up and maturing and so intelligent. I am just floored right now. So excuse me if I get all funny in my eyes, okay? Because I am just looking around and it's just amazing.
Must
And what's
be
even-
so crazy,
It's
right?
It's
amazing.
even more amazing for us to see some of their growth from the beginning of the year till now. I mean, some of them, but most of them.
I mean, I'm just really overwhelmed right now.
And
I'm
we,
just really
we
happy.
knew these kids when they were in kindergarten.
I'm telling you.
Also, so
Oh,
it's really impressive.
it really is.
Alexis, I love your board. I think that it's amazing how much time and effort you put into it. It's very artistic, and that's so you. And I think that you brought a piece of you to this visual aid. I would have liked to see just a little bit more about some of these names in your written piece, because I think you know so much about it, and you're clearly like telling us about it, and you're passionate about it. So maybe next time you could have given us a little bit more in your written piece. But Alexis, really great job, and thank you for bringing a little piece of yourself into this Freedom Tale.
It's my turn. Yeah, I agree. I think the poster board is definitely something. I think this is
The second
seeing this display and seeing all the different names and seeing all the different areas in which you wanted to talk about freedom, what freedom meant to you. I think is impressive. I definitely like the artistic and the fact that you made a cover for your Freedom Tale. Without being asked, we will be coming to those a little bit later, which is great. And you definitely had your writing piece set. Again, I would have loved to see what Nyla said, how all those pieces are connected to one particular thing. It seemed like a bunch of scattering of different things, and seeing how, how even Nelson Mandela is connecting with the civil rights movement with us, and there's a sense of freedom in his country and whatnot, and how that could all work together.
I have a question. What does whatnot mean?
I'm sorry?
What does whatnot mean?
I'm not sure. What's the context for that?
You said in whatnot.
And whatnot?
Oh,
Whatnot, meaning
It's like,
what else?
oh, okay.
It's
But-
a phrase that some people older use.
How are you trying to date me? Is that
No, I'm not. But I knew what it meant.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Alexis. Okay, fifth graders, head back to your desks for now. Let's get this set up.